Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This month we're doing foreign films. So I chose a kung fu movie, The Snake and Eagle Shadow, made in 1978, starring Jackie Chan. And we bring you movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and the strange man from the strange land in the lower left-hand corner is Ryan Preston. This week, we're doing The Snake and Eagle Shadow, starring Jackie Chan, so one of the two have the description of this movie. James?
Okay.
Ryan?
I got it right here.
Jackie Chan is boy.
He's used as a janitor at his kung fu school. Jackie Chan can't fight, is always getting bullied by the teachers and pupils. One day, an old man helps Jackie Chan train in the art of kung fu called the Snake Fist. Jackie doesn't get bullied again. Then Jackie creates his own style, mixes it with the Snake Fist. His style is based on the movement of the actions of a cow. One day, the old man is in trouble by a man who does Eagle's Claw, and Jackie Chan helps the old man.
Wow, they just spoiled the entire movie.
Yeah, they did.
That's
well, the first description was really short, and this description was far too long.
You should have picked the middle ground. Just like
Matter of fact, what I realized was the first description was just the first part of this description.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's the movie.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Now on to movie news.
Wow. So who wants to go first? Let's let Ryan do it.
All right, go Hor.
Okay. Let's see where to start. I love kung fu movies. I love Jackie Chan movies. I hadn't seen this movie before. I was familiar with the same movie, or the movie that he did the same year, Drunken Master, which James and I know that's one of your favorite movies too, as well as mine. I love the OG style of kung fu movies, of the way the Chinese did filmmaking and how they approached it, and just their take on what people can do. It's awesome. Jumping up walls and shit.
I love the finger climbing the guy does in the later movie. How he just goes think and climbs it up.
But then the little detective work where he's kind of looking and he sees almost like the foot marks and stuff, and he's like, I see where he could have climbed up, and then just gets in there with his fingertips. And I mean that kind of stuff I love. I love the slapstick style of filmmaking that they do, especially with Jackie Chan, who I more or less introduced a lot of that kind of style.
I still think the old man's one of the best characters in the movie. Like when you see him laying down on the rope, just hanging out there, and you realize it's not a cot, it's just a piece of rope strung from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible balance.
Oh, yeah, that's insane.
And it's indicative of classic kung fu movies. You always have that old man, the guy swiping his beard, like in Kill Bill and stuff. And I mean, it's one of my favorite types of foreign movies is kung fu movies. So I'm really glad that you picked this, because as far as I'm concerned, it is if somebody's never seen kung fu movies, you're like, oh, here, watch this one, and they're like, oh, I get it. And
I think Jackie Chan kung fu movies are a little easier to watch because they're funnier. Right.
Yeah. Much easier is as a jump off point especially for Americans.
Yeah.
Who a lot of people, unless you've been into it for a long time, aren't aware of this kind of filmmaking. But it's still easily watchable for people.
Because I love Bruce Lee movies, but I can totally see them being a little hard for some people because they're a lot more serious than this is. I mean, this is like the Keystone Cops of kung fu movies. I mean, it really
the thing
is.
You gotta appreciate about the old Bruce Lee movies is, you're moving from the goofy Hop Sing characters into more of a serious. I have more ability than just being like, hey, yeah, type thing.
But the Hop Sing movies, at least characters, at least in the Americans, were never Asian guys. They were always.
Well, yeah, but they were making fun of the Asian type
hardcore
thing, and that's where you got to appreciate that they're moving out, and where Bruce Lee took it into the more serious, and then Jackie Chan kept it kind of serious, but introduced comedic elements to it that took it into a whole nother era that, I mean, Bruce Lee wasn't going to take it to. You never know, he might have, but, he died
I doubt
73.
He was going to keep making movies where he's, having sex with 4 women at a time and kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah,
that was his style.
Well,
but, as far as that, I mean, I think Jet Li came in and took that over and kept it going that way.
Yeah, I agree with you there. We talked about this a long time ago,
Yeah.
how excited we were that Jet Li was kind of coming in and really taking control of the kung fu movies nowadays.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's movies were comedic in a different way.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, they weren't.
Well, I wouldn't say so much like Enter the Dragon was,
they weren't as in your face
Fist of Fury.
They're not as in your face, they're not in their faces like Jackie Chan's, like over the top, really goofy. I think with Bruce Lee, it's how he fights, what he does. I think it's a subtle comedy versus in your face.
Well, it's a lot more of the Die Hard style of like the hero kind of just throwing off one-liners and smart-ass comments and things like that. Much more dry humor, whereas Jackie Chan was almost pure slapstick.
Yeah.
You have the bowl scene, fighting with the chopsticks, things like that. I mean, that's pure slapstick, just done in a different country.
One of my favorite scenes, you had, what was he, a senator or some important guy in the town? You had his chubby kid.
Oh, yeah.
And the chubby kid just went, like, puffed up. I totally want to make a movie, like a GIF, animated GIF of that, because that's my favorite scene. He's like, me charge! And he charges at the guy. And
he's like, well, look at how buff I am.
And he flips over the table.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a lot of funny elements in there, and I always did appreciate the fact that, I mean, Jackie Chan in his old movies, and people who know Kung Fu movies, you can't watch a Kung Fu movie without understanding or seeing the Jackie Chan flicks.
I mean,
you can be in there, and there's some offhand, Kung Fu movies that are out there that I've seen, I'm sure other people have seen, but Jackie Chan is one that you always come back to, as you can always watch a Jackie Chan Kung Fu movie and know that it's going to be good.
And be legitimately entertained regardless of whether you're a hardcore Kung Fu fan or not.
Yeah.
I think
the fun thing, I will make the argument though, 45 minutes, at least half this movie is fighting.
Yeah.
And I think that the other thing I think these movies especially are good is they don't talk down to you. It's not, oh, you don't understand Kung Fu, you don't understand this, or under that stand this. No matter where you are or who you are, there are parts you're going to find funny. And I think that's one of the benefit of these movies.
And I always like the fact that Jackie Chan, I mean, if you look at all of his old ones from like the late 70s into the mid to late 80s, is he uses the same characters. He's got the same actors, and he puts them in different roles
which
that
I love.
Are really good for them. I mean, you got the skinny dojo guy who's not really a teacher, he's an instructor or whatever, but he's in like at least 8 that I've seen.
Probably,
but he always
I mean, there's a documentary made on probably in the maybe early 90s on Jackie Chan that went over how he likes to work with the same people, but basically because it's just a dangerous job. You're dealing with people that you don't work with too often, and the guy's swinging a sword in your face. You know what I mean? You get a little more nervous and you want to flinch a little more. And he was explaining, if you've worked with these people long enough, you don't flinch. So when he makes, a little bit of connection with you, it's the right amount, and it's not going to be over the top, and you're not going to get seriously injured.
Yeah, because I mean, he also uses the fat kid that was in there. He uses him constantly.
My favorite thing about the first teacher you see is the fact that in most Jackie Chan movies, spoiler here, is he's generally the foil. He's usually the guy that does stupid things and this was the first movie I saw him in where he wasn't such the foil, but he still played the full character.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that
he
character.
Still had some skill and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then later you see him like stroking his mole type thing, and he's like, "Oh, come here."
Because he's in the second one, because there's a Snake and Eagle Shadow 2 where he plays kind of the bumbling idiot, but it's still a great role.
Yeah.
Of course there's a Snake and Eagle Shadow 2. Why wouldn't there?
Of course.
But
even then they knew how to milk to a sequel.
But it was made a year later.
I mean, of course, yeah, okay.
I mean, this is fast.
A time when you can just churn out 3 movies a year if you're a decent filmmaker.
Yeah. The thing about the Jackie Chan, the older movies, is that you always see him grow as a character, and that's the thing that is seen throughout all of his old kung fu movies. Is you see him as basically a young kung fu student grow into a master,
or nobody, or somebody who's just kind of in the right place, right time with the master or something like that. But yeah, its story is old as time.
Yeah, it's just basically an interchangeable story in all of his movies, except for there's a couple that are a little bit different. Like Meals on Wheels is one where he's already knows kung fu.
But it's a story that everybody likes and everybody's used to. Everybody's used to the underdog.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, I think this movie has a direct tie-in or a direct effect on, if you like, Bloodsport and those fighting movies of the 80s, where it has the same thing, where you have a guy who's the underdog who wins at the end. I mean, this, I think, has a direct effect.
Yeah, but
Right.
I think as far as the kung fu movies go, is that even with these Jackie Chan's and even the old Bruce Lee's, is that if you're watching these movies, you're not really watching these movies for a deep, in-depth plot.
Oh,
you're
no.
watching these for comedy. You're watching them for action.
The plot is the same thing you've seen in a lot of Disney movies. You know, this kid who kind of always dreams of doing something special, and then, you know, gets bullied around by the people, and then meets a guy who kind of changes it, and then, you know, with a little dedication and hard work, he becomes the best. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Like I said, it's old as time, but it's the reason that anybody can get into this stuff. That's why I would let, like, kids, like 10-year-old kids, like, here's a bunch of kung fu movies, kid.
Yeah, sit down and learn something.
The part
and be like legitimately entertained is my point. Like
after he watches
in this world
5
of Twitter and video games on every device in the world, those kinds of things still hold up. You know?
I mean, the part of this movie I always thought would suck was he's constantly the human punching bag. I mean, there's a scene in the movie where the teacher says, "Don't fight back." He gets his butt kicked.
Yeah.
And the guy, he goes to block, and the guy's like, "Teacher said don't block." You know?
He's like, "Don't do that."
He gets his ass handed to him over and over again. Matter of fact, he actually lost a tooth in this movie.
Yeah, he
in
did.
real life.
Yeah, in the last fight scene, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You can see the gap in his.
And I think I asked James about this. I think part of this movie was used. It was a Kung Pao Enter the Chicken or whatever it is. That movie that came out in early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Kung Fu Hustle.
No,
I don't think it was Kung Fu Hustle. It was Kung Fu Hustle is different.
Because Kung Fu Hustle was because the one movie I'm talking about was basically an American actor in front of a green screen, and he just acted parts of this movie out.
Yeah, and then there's different things that they stole from different ones, like the Asian girl with the curly cues or whatever.
Yeah,
that was a different movie. I don't remember which one that one. I think it was a Bruce Lee.
So what was your favorite part of this movie, though, Ryan? Did you one section were like, I love this?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is like I'm when I watch a kung fu movie, I'm really looking for the obligatory, you know, training scenes, the you know, the especially like when he's doing the knuckle push-ups or the 3-finger push-ups over the candles and whatnot with the old man just effing with them with his feet on his back
or sitting on top of him,
doing the little snake things up the grabbing the eggs and stuff. I mean, just those kinds of things. I love the scene with the fat kid and his dad and trying to pick the schools and whatnot. Can you break the bricks? And the guy with the hand, and he runs off into the back like, "Oh yeah, I'm good. And then he goes off to the back. Oh, shit.
The funniest thing about that is how they showed him. If, like, in one scene he looked really buff, they did a really close-up scene of it. In the next scene, he's this little scrawny guy, and I remember going, wow, now that was a hell of a camera angle.
Well, either that or they started filming it, like, and he just got wicked conditioned throughout the filming of the movie.
Yeah. Because I thought that was funny. I was like, wow, they use a lot of camera angles and tricks in this movie.
But that's the thing is they'll use a handful of tricks and whatnot, but a lot of it is really just incredible acrobatics, you know, which I think is half the reason that people watch these movies.
Because it's over and over again. If you watch some of the stuff, like some of the fight scenes, it's just like, this is so stylized because it seems like such a waste of movement.
Oh, absolutely. All of it is a waste of movement and incredibly slow and you know, like you can tell it's ridiculously choreographed. But the kung fu that you see in the movies is really based on the monk style of kung fu, not the fighting. It's more like ceremonial. You know, it's for show. It's literally was created for show.
But man, do they do it fast? I mean, you're sitting here. How many cuts did it take to you guys to get that fast? Because they fly. Exactly. There's some scenes that go really fast.
Well, that's the thing is
the benefit of working with the same people every time. Yeah.
That's the difference between most of the styles that you'll see Bruce Lee do versus Jackie Chan. Is Jackie Chan does the stylized and Bruce Lee was more of the straight fighting. I just kick your butt.
Mm-hmm. Right. Look how fast I can whip these nunchucks around.
Yeah.
And then the director goes, "Cut! Can you slow down, please?"
Matter of fact, I have exactly. I have two things to mention for people on YouTube. Look these up: Bruce Lee with matches and Bruce Lee with a ping pong ball.
Oh, that ping pong ball's cool.
Just look them up. Don't ask any questions.
Cool. I'll have to look that up. I haven't searched for those.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I've seen them before.
I love this movie though. I mean, this I agree. I mean, this is one of the top 10 quintessential kung fu movies, I think, for me.
So what is your favorite scene?
Oh, jeez. You know, I'll have to say that when he's fighting with the eagle fist, or the eagle fist guy, when he's just doing all this random stuff, like, I'm not done, I attack! And he gets thrown across the room. I just, that one scene in that beat up or destroyed building is just hilarious, because he's like, I'm badass, I'll kick your ass, and then the next second he flies across the room. I'm not done yet, flies across the room. The whole scene, just to see like Jackie Chan do that is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, he always loves to be the butt of the joke when he can.
Yeah.
And he was in that movie.
Perfect face that he makes when he hurts his hand and stuff, you know.
And he's facial wise one of the most animated actors I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey is the only person I've seen who can outdo him elasticity.
But I think that's partially why it translates so well to America.
That's a good point.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I like the scene where he's learned some kung fu and the teacher's trying to dirty up the floor.
Oh yeah.
And he sits there and is throwing the rags underneath his feet, because I mean that's just one of those things that you just see. That I mean, there's really not that much application into into kung fu at all in that scene, but it's just how goofy he is doing it, and he's having a great time, and you can tell both of the actors are having a great time doing it. But the skinny guy's keeping it so straight and kind of like playing back at it. The way that they played with each other in that scene really shows how well he knows this guy and how much fun he has doing these films.
I think that skinny Asian guy, he has an amazing. That's a skill right there. And the goofy scenes he's a part of, because there's a scene where he almost falls in a water bucket.
That's the same scene. Yeah.
I wonder how many times he actually fell in before they got the timing right, because you know he had to get dunked a couple of times.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, like everybody there is so like I mean, that is such a skill, being able to you know, bumble around like that and maintain some balance. You know what I mean?
An incredible amount of balance.
And then not to laugh, because I mean, you could tell that some of those scenes where he's throwing it underneath his feet like 8 times and before the camera angle switches, that I mean, he's keeping a straight face through it.
Yeah, if anybody wants to, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube of Jackie Chan outtakes and the kind of things that they screw up and hurt themselves. And
some of them are brutal.
And it's not like SNL trying to keep it serious. They're hard on their face, trying not to laugh. The guy's legitimately keeping a straight face. You know that the inside, he's about ready to bust up just because of the random crap they're doing in the movie.
Yeah, let me pull up one that I know has so many outtakes that are just so great of them that somebody out there could look up. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
The craziest thing about the Jackie Chan is how many times we've gotten hurt. I have a DVD that actually talks about all his injuries.
Oh yeah, I mean, like he's broken damn near every bone in his body. I
mean, that's pretty intense, because a lot of his movies, it's just him doing the stunts.
It's all him doing the stunts,
and it's not. It's not like Hollywood where they have, you know, they have wire ropes and they have this and they have that. Back then, they just did a lot of the stunts on their own.
Yeah,
that's what you have with Jackie Chan is you have an incredible stunt coordinator, stunt worker. I mean, he's a stunt artist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's also just an incredible actor. Also, it just happens to be that he can be on screen too. Like talking and stuff, but it hard. I mean, that's what he does. That's why he has his entire team of stunt workers.
Yeah, as Ryan was saying, there's a ton of footage of Jackie Chan outtakes. He likes to show his outtakes so that people understand what he goes through and has a little bit of fun with it. But there's 2 movies that I know there's a ton of outtakes out there on, and one of them is Who Am I?
Oh, yeah.
That he has that he got some really bad injuries in doing.
Is that the one where he broke his foot and they painted his cast like a shoe?
I think that was actually First Strike or Who Am I? I'm not sure which one it was.
I love that movie.
But there's one where he's like water skiing with a cast on, but they like John said, they try to make it look like a shoe because he's still doing it and finishing the cut.
I got to give this guy credit. This guy has an amazing ability just to put up with stuff,
and dedication like you wouldn't believe.
Because I don't think you would be able to do that here. I don't think you would have get away with having a broken foot and still skiing. I mean, them literally like duct taping the ski to his cast. I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys give it?
Oh God. What about you, Ryan? Because I'm.
A 4. I mean, 4. I mean, easily. Love this movie.
Because I have to give it a 4. I can't give it a 5, but I love this movie. This is one of my all-time favorite kung fu movies. I mean, I actually own this movie, so it's a 4.
You know, I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. There is some stuff in his repertoire that I give a 5, but this one is not one of them. It's close, but it's a 4 as well.
Yeah. You know, I actually think this seems fair. I mean, I think the thing about this movie is if you watch this, you get to see how he progresses as an actor, as a fighter. I think that's one of the reasons I like this, because this is he's like 24, 25.
Yep, he's 24.
That's why I think this movie's amazing. As you see a guy at the beginning of his career, and if you watch one of his later movies and you see, not only is he doing the same similar stuff, but he improves on the way he does it. I mean, this is why this is amazing.
Yeah.
And now, for the movie news portion of the show, the first one I wanted to talk about is Ron Perlman wants another Hellboy film.
Of course he does.
He's trying to talk, I'm never going to get this guy's name right, Guillermo del Toro. He's trying to talk him into doing another Hellboy.
It's pretty close.
Well, I mean, I like Guillermo del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors. I've spoken about him at length on the show before. Hellboys weren't his greatest films.
But visually, like I was going to say, Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite visual directors. And visually, they had their moments for damn sure.
I'll give you that. But I mean, as far as his repertoire of movies that he's got out there, I mean, there's better ones, but
sure. Well, I'm just not a big Ron Perlman fan per se. Although I see him in Sons of Anarchy, and it's like, oh, that's what you're here for.
Well, that's why you act.
Ron Perlman's the actor who can't say no to anything.
Well, look, to be fair, dude, like no actor really wants to say no to money and to work. You know.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
You never know as an actor when the next time you're going to be in a picture or a TV show or
I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of actors that don't have jobs.
The funniest thing about this particular article is he talks about and this is a quote from the article. I said to Guillermo, "You owe it to the world to finish his trilogy. I've been giving him Jewish guilt."
Wait. He owes it to the world?
Yeah. I could resist reading it. It's funny.
Wow,
I think the one thing about this is Guillermo is really good at visuals. In the first one, with that wind-up bad guy in the beginning of the very first film, I think visually, it's a really unique movie. I don't think it's Pan's Labyrinth unique, but it's unique enough visually that I would watch it.
But
I would check it out.
Has so much on his plate right now with everybody else wanting him to do other things.
Yeah.
Hellboy is probably the least of his worries.
Yeah. I'm sure that's like.
He'll do it in a couple of years when he's tired of it. He's like, why not just do something different? And the next one is something I've wanted to see forever. The Phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will begin to play out in theaters next month. But meanwhile, the studio's going up for their plans for Phase 3. Doctor Strange.
Nice. Wait, are they doing a live action?
According to this article, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
And guess who is being eyed? I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but actor-writer Justin Theroux is being eyed for the role of Doctor Strange.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull up that name. I don't know it off the top of my head. What'd you say? Justin Theroux.
So I don't know the cat.
I recognize this dude from someplace.
Oh, American Psycho.
Oh, from that. Okay.
So what do you think?
Oh, and Mulholland Drive. Oh, and he was in Parks and Rec. Oh, he's Justin from Parks and Rec. That's right.
Because I don't know him enough to know if this would be a good person or not. But I love the Doctor Strange character.
Yeah, he's always been one of my favorite, superheroes.
My question is, giving Marvel's latest things, you've got the Avengers, you got Iron Man. Do you think it would be good? Do you think they're jumping the shark, going to their more fiduciary characters, or do you think that this will be an amazing movie?
I think if they're going to do it, this is the time. There's never been a better time. I mean, the market, the entire world is primed for this kind of shit.
You know, I'm a big fan of the Doctor Strange character. This is one of those that I'm not going to boycott.
Do you think
say, you know, I would go and watch it.
I'm sure they appreciate your patronage.
And I would give it a chance. I mean, the way that they've treated, you know, Wolverine.
That's here's my worry. My
Wait
true
a
worry.
second. I mean, the new Wolverine.
The new Wolverine has hope. But
here's
it doesn't mean that it's going to redeem the way that they.
It's going to be him
it.
in Japan, dude. This movie's going to fucking rule.
Well,
you never know.
Here's my worry. My worry is Doctor Strange and the whole world is very dark, very gritty, and I'm afraid this is going to turn into the goofy.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Less sadistic.
I think people understand that you can do that kind of thing in a comic book movie nowadays, and people will appreciate it.
No, there's only a couple. Hold on, let me speak
this
for a
movie
second.
just like saying, "Oh, well, if people can do a dark comic book movie, let's do Doctor Strange."
But hold on, let me speak on this one for a second. I mean, there are characters that you can do campy, kind of funny things with, like Deadpool, the
Captain
Flash,
America in the 80s.
Captain America. You can do funny things with that a little bit more than you can like with Wolverine. Or Doctor Strange, or even Iron Man. Iron Man, you can have some funny elements to it, but it's a little bit more of a serious story. Batman, serious story.
Different kind of comedy. But what we don't want to happen is for it to turn into a Green
Lantern.
Green Hornet.
Or Green Hornet, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm afraid of this movie, because it's a very dark, very serious. There are total comedic elements in the comic book, but I'm afraid it's going to turn into another comedy.
Transformers.
No, see, Transformers you can get away with being funny. This movie, I don't think this source material, there's room to make it into a slapstick comedy like I can see them doing.
I don't know. I just hope that they don't screw it up. That's all I got to say.
I think it'll be good. I think the people that they're letting do these movies now are doing their best to not screw them up.
And
yeah.
I think the benefit though is Disney owns Marvel, and out of any studio in the world, Disney's not stupid.
No,
Disney knows what they're doing. They'll go for the common denominator. If people really want a funny movie, they'll make it funny. But I think Disney realizes that there's enough fanboys that they would complain, and this movie would get totally trashed. Yeah. Nobody would.
And I've said it a bunch of times. I'll watch all these damn movies, but what I really want is DC to start doing some shit again.
Yeah.
And the other part of the movie news is Iron Man 3 may be the last. Because according to this article, I think they said that Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow's contracts are over after Iron Man 3.
Well, they're not going to do another Iron Man, but they're definitely coming back for Avengers 2 and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if Robert Downey and Paltrow are going to jump on board with it. You never know.
Well, I don't...
there's no way that he can refuse to do it. I mean, he'd be eaten alive by the public.
Well, I think for Robert Downey Jr., I think Iron Man was one of the movies that revived what was left of his career.
Yeah,
and
an entirely new career.
And he seems to love this role enough that I could see him doing it.
That's because it's so close to his true life.
Yeah, I could see him doing Avengers 2, then stepping away from a while. Wanting to do something else.
That's fine. I mean, whatever. But he's going to do Avengers.
Whatever.
There's no doubt about it.
Gwyneth Paltrow, I could see her character being replaced. I can see her going, I'm moving on to different things. Let somebody else do Pepper Potts.
Right, the franchise wouldn't die if she left.
Yeah. Well, I think it would if Robert Downey Jr. did.
Oh, yeah.
If Robert Downey Jr. did, that's it. I mean, nobody would watch
Ding
that.
dong, Avengers is dead.
Just pretty much.
But I'm saying, he would be eviscerated on, Twitter and Facebook. I mean, everybody would be like, what the hell is your problem? They'd do the same thing for Disney and Marvel.
I think Disney and Marvel would. I think, if anything, you'd get people begging him, please be Tony
That's what I'm
Stark.
saying. Disney and Marvel understand that, and they have enough money to throw out.
Yeah. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. would get eviscerated. I think, if anything, he would be harassed to no end.
That's basically what he's saying. He's going to be harassed to the point that he's going to be eviscerated.
Eviscerated generally means, he's getting, you son of a bitch, you should have done this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have you read the internet?
Yeah, have you been on the internet?
Are you familiar with this thing called the internet?
Well, yeah,
there's these people called trolls, and that's exactly what they do all day long. Is you fucking piece of shit, die, burn in hell.
I think the voices you would hear more often or not is you get people sad that Robert Downey Jr. said no.
I mean, have you seen the trolls commenting about
the rest of the people that want to be polite to him are going to be like, I'm sad that you didn't do this movie. Whereas the 40% that is the internet are going to be just flaming him.
Then just don't read YouTube comments. 40%? I was going to say
like 80%. What
yeah,
are you talking about?
Well, as long as you don't read the YouTube or Reddit comments, you'll be safe.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like his Twitter. I mean, it's all going to go up.
I'm actually. Are you guys interested in seeing Iron Man 3?
Yeah, I mean, I will. Yeah, of course I will. I mean, I like it. I probably won't go out of my way to go see it like opening week or anything, but I'll see it.
What about you, Ryan?
I don't see a movie for anything for opening week, but I love comic books. I'll watch all this shit.
The only person really at this point I'll see opening week is Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
I'll actually wait in line to see a Tarantino.
Yeah, but that's like the midnight showing when nobody else is there.
For a Tarantino movie?
Yeah,
They're usually crowded.
We did it with it wasn't that crowded for.
Okay, the last one was. The last one was pretty crowded, but we went later. The Django?
Yeah, not Django. The one.
Oh, Inglourious.
Inglourious. That wasn't that packed.
True. But you and I were the only people laughing the whole time in the theater.
Yeah. All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week's movie news. Next week is James's pick. So, what's your movie?
And we're going to be doing the Perfume, the story of murder. Of a murderer, sorry. The story of a murderer. Shut up.
So, where's this movie from, since that's our foreign
this
films?
one, I would, it's done in more than one country in Europe, so I would just say Europe. It's
French.
Yeah, it's French. It's French primarily, but it's got also studio stuff in Germany.
So I guess what's the primary language?
French. I would say it's a French flick. Yeah. So look it up. It's Perfume, the story of a murderer, made in 2006.
Awesome.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, I gave the Snake and Eagle Shadow a 4. James gave it a 4, and Ryan gave it a 4. Next week, it's Perfume, the story of murder. We'll see you next week.